I filed a lawsuit after being accused of swindling my friend's wife, and she promptly fell out of favor. I have never experienced anything so terrible as the past 4 days. I seen articles similar to this on Reddit and wanted to ask advice on what to do next because I have no idea how to handle anything. He was informed by the wife of my closest friend that she had an untrue affair with me. For 8 years, my 35-year-old wife and I had been wed. We are proud parents of 2 amazing children, but this is about my 35-year-old buddy Josh and his 34-year-old wife Mary. Josh and I became friends during our first year of college, and our friendship has lasted ever since. He is usually my first choice when I need someone to chat to, since we have always had a passion for technology. 5 years ago, Josh and Mary began dating. Let's imagine that Mary and my wife have completely different moral standards. She simply wants attention and is a very loud and manipulative person. For 4 years, Josh and Mary had been in and out of relationships. They split up frequently. Yet after a few months, they were constantly together somehow. Josh is continually broken up with by Mary, who eventually wins him back. Additionally, I am aware that Mary cheated on Josh with 2 or more men while they were dating, but she managed to persuade him that he wasn't giving the relationship his all. Josh constantly holds himself responsible for Mary's unhappiness. My spouse has always avoided Mary and is aware of all that has been going on. We do, however, frequently cross paths with her at get-togethers. The month of the year, Josh and Mary tied the knot. Josh learned that Mary was having an extramarital affair with one of her co-workers and was cheating on him once more. After being with us for a week, Josh, who was in total brokenness, returned and confronted Mary, forcing her to leave the house. Josh had to call the police to evict her because he had purchased the house before to being married. Mary, as far as we know, returned to her parents' home. Josh filed for divorce last week, and I have been assisting him throughout the process. Mary and her father went to Josh's residence on Saturday to gather her belongings. When they arrived, I had told Josh to leave the home, but he wanted to make sure she didn't steal anything that wasn't hers. Josh and Mary got into a heated argument during her visit, and Mary revealed to Josh that she had an affair with me when they were married, which we used to perform in their bedroom. Everything about this is untrue. Mary has always caused me problems, so I have avoided her. Her statement seems to be an attempt to harm Josh, in my opinion. Following that occurrence, Josh arrived to our place after becoming quite irritated. I knew something was wrong when I noticed how upset he was. He began swearing at me and accused me of having slept with Mary as soon as I answered the door. Fortunately, the children weren't home, but my wife and I were, and we were both taken aback by his remarks. He made an attempt to strike me. Fortunately, though, he struck my shoulder, and I managed to subdue him by wrestling him to the ground. I would not stop telling him that I had never, ever spent a single minute alone with Mary, and that everything she had told him was a lie. He departed after my wife threatened to contact the police. Following his departure, my spouse was utterly distraught. I had to soothe her for hours before I could persuade her that Mary was playing tricks on Josh. I work from home, and my wife and kids are rarely gone from the house. Though she has changed over the past 4 days, I feel she believes me. Josh revealed my romance with Mary to several of my close friends. He doesn't answer the phones for my wife or me. Mary was contacted by my wife. However, she wasn't returning our calls either. Josh and all of my friends believe that I am the biggest moron for having an affair with his effing wife. I have no idea how to disprove this to anyone. I'm simply really irritated. Could someone kindly advise me on my next course of action? Remarks that are pertinent. Speak with an attorney. Find out if you may legally sue Mary for slander. I mean it. She is causing quantifiable harm to your life and reputation by telling lies that you should be able to verify. You should file ASAP. If a lawyer believes you have a case. That's a good idea. It could be my only chance to persuade Mary to tell the truth. Really, guy, that's effed up. Given the circumstances, I find it difficult to understand why your wife and friends don't trust you, but it seems like you should just deny doing it in order to clear the air. If you have any evidence, provide it to anyone who doesn't believe you. You may also say that you're pleased to remain friends, but that you won't be discussing the problem. Their selection. You need to be more gentle with your wife, of course, but you still need to tell her that she needs to either believe you or give you permission to investigate further if she is able, or that you two need to go to counseling. Don't take any half measures or treat each other any differently just because you are unable to prove anything. That's what I would do anyhow. I apologize, brother. I will offer up a prayer for you. Tell your acquaintance, who has terminal simp syndrome, that Mary should be contacted for times, dates, and locations. How are they to believe her if she is unable to provide any of those items? If you spend the most of your time with your family, it should be simple to refute her strange dates, times, and locations if she does provide them. Although your buddy is distraught and living in denial. You really need to comfort the lady you call your wife. Scream aloud to all of your pals and get dates, times, and places from Mary. Come at me with proof if you want to label me an idiot and a cheater. Next, have a meaningful discussion with your spouse. If you respond that you have, then proceed once more. Google Maps is a useful tool that most people overlook. It usually maintains a clean record. Perhaps, even if you don't think so, that will be helpful. Regards. My spouse has offered encouragement, but Josh's malicious disinformation inside our social circle is also having a negative impact on her. Mary isn't interacting with us. Update. I recently made a piece in which I claimed that I had an affair with Mary, the wife of my closest friend. That was never the case. Josh, my closest buddy, and his wife were divorcing. When she revealed it to him, he began circulating untrue accusations about my buddy circle and myself. TLDR, first of all, we would like to thank @dangerous1243 and everyone else who urged that we suit for slander. After Mary folded within 24 hours, we threatened to sue. I simply couldn't stop wondering how I might persuade Josh that I had entirely forgotten about taking legal action by persuading Mary to speak the truth. I was unable to provide an update because, following our Reddit post, the attorneys instructed us to remain silent until Mary had made a confession. My spouse and I looked over every remark for several hours at night. We made the quick decision to see whether we could file a slander lawsuit against Mary. A few of you recommended that I undergo a polygraph examination. My wife grinned when I suggested if we should find a spot for that. She stated that while she has no doubts whatsoever about me, we cannot allow anyone to question the fact that I had an affair with Mary. We cannot tolerate our children believing that I had an affair with Mary since our children are friends with their children. All she asked was that we stand strong and find a quick solution to the problem. We messaged the extremely experienced legal friend of my wife's mother in the morning. We phoned her and explained the situation, working from the time she provided us in the morning. She advised us to take legal action, but stated that she does not handle situations like this. Instead, she provided us with the contact information of another lawyer in her firm, and we scheduled a meeting for midday. We went to see her and talked about the problem. The attorney informed us that we may file a lawsuit against Mary, since she had falsely accused me, and there was precedence for seeing her comments as defamatory since they were personal attacks on my persona. And we have proof of psychological discomfort. She did, however, inform us that a defamation case might take years to resolve and is an extremely costly and drawn-out procedure. She informed us that Mary will not want to appear in court because of her weak hand. It would thus be in her best interest to provide a written explanation for her fraudulent statements. Moreover, since she made the false claim to Josh, Josh would have to confirm what she claimed. I won't go into specifics now, but I may later talk about it in the comments. But we managed to arrange for her to receive a letter stating our intention to file a defamation lawsuit. After the lawyer worked on this, we learned that Mary received the letter at her parents' house on Friday morning. The letter threatened to file a lawsuit against her by the end of the month, unless she produced a formal, written declaration proving the falsehood of the comments she had made. The letter further instructed Mary to handle all correspondence on this topic through the law firm. I messaged Josh as scheduled, informing him that we had taken the decision to sue Mary for defamation because of the false claims she made regarding the affair. We would do all in our power to refute the accusations. Our lawyers will contact you next week, and we hope you cooperate with them and tell them exactly what she said to you on Saturday morning, as I was cooking breakfast and my wife was sitting with our kids. The doorbell rang. I saw the Ring camera that Josh and Mary standing outside the door. Before I could tell my wife to stay back and not open the door, she bolted towards the door. She opened it and started yelling at Josh. She is 5 feet nothing tall. But she is scary when she is angry. She just started calling him names, and how can he destroy our lives when we supported him at his lowest? Josh just kept saying. He just wanted to talk to me and kept repeating that. He looked down. My wife just kept on yelling at him and telling him to get lost. Mary started talking then, saying that she was sorry for what she said. Josh was abusing her as she was packing, and she just said that to hurt him. She just kept on saying that Josh is such an idiot and has created such a big mess. My wife turned to her and told her that she better find a good lawyer. Reply to our lawyers. At last she told Josh that if he wanted to meet me, go and first make things right for me and then slam the door. I was watching all this from the breakfast table through Ring camera and realized that we recorded the whole conversation, including Mary confessing her lies. I felt so relieved in the moment, knowing that I had proof of her telling the truth. We forwarded the video to our lawyer, and she sent a thumbs up and called us briefly to say that we should meet on Monday to discuss the next steps. After an hour or so, Josh messaged our friends group that he did a terrible thing and spread false statements about me. He is ashamed of it and wants to apologize for it. Moments later, Mary messaged saying that some statements she made were misconstrued by Josh and that what he told everyone was false. Their relationship is going through rocking times and would thank everyone for giving them privacy and to pray for them. The rest of the day has been great. I have been taking my kids to their Saturday activities and playing with them, while my wife was talking on the phone with all my friends' wives and her friends gossiping about what happened. The only thing I told her was to not send the ring video of Josh and me from last week, and not to mention Mary's affair to them. I still think it's a private matter that Josh told us in confidence, and we should respect that. Everyone was shocked that Josh attacked me physically. Regarding my friends, I made a blanket statement that they all hate me in the last post. But, in reality, 4 of my friends called me during this week to ask me what was going on. They told me they knew how crazy Mary was and asked me how they could support me. One of the friends was the one that Josh had called. He told me that Josh told him that Mary had an affair with me and he had filed for divorce. He conveniently left out the part about her cheating on her coworker. I don't think anyone apart from my wife and I know the whole story. He knows at least 2 of the other friends Josh called and said the same. Due to this, the gossip started spreading that they were divorcing because of me, and most of my friends were just waiting on the sidelines instead of extending support to. However, I think I learned who are the people that got my back in need. About Josh, we still plan to file for TRO against him and Mary next week. The lawyer said we should be able to get it for Josh, as there is clear evidence of danger, but Mary might be a long shot. We will see what to do from there. As for our friendship, it's done. It ended the minute he decided to punch me, instead of at least asking me if it was true. I can't have people like him around my wife and kids. He was a great friend, but my family and their safety have a way higher priority than him. For Mary, I guess she wins. My wife still wants to push to get her to pay our legal fees. We will see what to do on Monday. However, she was able to destroy Josh's support system with one lie. Josh was receiving my assistance during the whole divorce process, but he is now on his own. A lot of my friends probably wouldn't treat him nicely either, given the awful things he attempted to do in my place. I'm sorry for him, and I know he needs assistance from a professional, but I done my part, and I hope that going forward, he knows what's best for him. Again, I appreciate all of your insightful remarks. I'm relieved that everything is finally ended, and my wife would want to thank you all as well. Some pertinent remarks. Not the stupid but, still. Josh will thus continue to live with her. Following her, A, claimed that he was mistreating her, forcing her to make a fake confession even while her father was there, and then B, further retracted his statement, claiming he misunderstood what she had meant. He is having issues. I would forward the screenshot of her communication to him, thereby accusing him of misinterpreting her falsehood rather than her of fabricating it in the first place. But she also remarked, rather bluntly, that Josh is a fool, and that he's made a huge mess, and he did, by remaining silent. Lastly, you formally informed her that you had retained counsel and asked that she handle any correspondence with him. She disobeyed the instructions by visiting your house and then texting you straight again thereafter. In addition, your lawyer requested that she provide the statement in writing rather than verbally or over the phone. Fortunately, your camera got the confession, but because she broke the provisions of your cease and desist letter, your attorney should be able to obtain an injunction against her. I understand that a stop and desist letter isn't the same as a restraining order, ETA, for people going crazy. However, after she lied, damaged his reputation, and made his closest buddy attack him as a result of her falsehoods, he legally and in writing told her that he was asking her to leave them alone. She then showed up at his house and contacted him later after being threatened with legal action. I just believe he now has the chance to utilize the cease and desist letter, which is a tool to obtain a restraining order. It may be a long shot, but the tool forced her to tell the truth and shown her will to disobey the desires of someone she has wronged personally. It has been demonstrated that she disobeys the family's desires in spite of the possibility of legal action. It demonstrates her lack of common sense. The results of that instrument would be used by me in my request for a formal restraining order. Even when they are threatened with legal action, normal individuals don't follow instructions to the letter within 24 hours of being ordered not to do anything. And that's it. It seems that they are meant to be together. Yes, they do at this stage. Regretfully, Oppie must acknowledge that the buddy he has known his entire life has passed away. He has no chance of being the person he once was until she leaves his life, since she has drastically altered him for the worst. Josh needs to have the self-assurance to make the proper decision. The way she treats her always makes me sad. Mary's decision to place the whole burden on Josh, who was also at fault, and make him appear pious and victimized in front of everyone else further infuriated me. Finally, there's the fact that anyone who believes she is a saint is really naive. I hope your friend comes back to the group and to his senses one day. Regretfully, we come to realize at various points in our life that we are unable to assist someone who refuses to assist himself. As friends and sympathetic people, it's incredibly difficult for you, but at this point, all you can do is defend yourselves. I'm happy you were able to clean your record, and that your wife and friends supported you. I wish you the best of luck. Narrative 2. Meet my two dearest friends, 24 women. 23 women attended the same institution and grew friends right away. During our 3 years of studies, we were a unit. But this summer, we graduated and relocated to very separate locations. We used FaceTime to catch up after our daily group chat conversations. One of the two was hired in a different European nation, and she had known all along that she would be moving there. We had been eager to see her on New Year's Eve and have been arranging for it. I texted them 5 days ago to set up a FaceTime session so we could begin organizing and making travel plans. The buddy who works overseas phoned me later that evening, saying she might not be able to take time off work, and that we could visit later in the spring when it's warmer. However, she simply abruptly shared a snapshot of their conversations on her private story on Snapchat, revealing that their third buddy had purchased a ticket for New York City. I simply don't know how to react. I feel so excluded and let down. We've had get-togethers in the past, when the two of us would hang around without the third. However, we have taken several trips together and have always agreed that it is a lot of fun. How do I go and handle this? Since I'm not the combative kind, I need advice. Furthermore, we've never actually argued before. Though in some ways I am, I don't want to come across as petty, and I also don't want to be welcomed out of sympathy. Nothing that comes to mind that would make them angry with me or anything like. Alright, so I guess I just needed to let it all out, but I would also appreciate any guidance on how to handle this. Not to put a strain on things, but how would you handle this with close friends? Perhaps someone else has gone through similar experiences. Remarks that are pertinent. These aren't pals. I wouldn't even try to communicate. They misled you. Let's go have some springtime fun, and then give you a face palm by sharing it on Snapchat. They are aware. If you bring up anything to them, they will take pride in knowing that they have caused you pain. Really, are you expecting a heartfelt apology? Just break things off and go on. Well-being is the best kind of retaliation. Just break things off and go on. Well-being is the best kind of retaliation. Yes, I have done just that in the past and have never looked back. We were 5 when we first became friends. It took me about 20 years to get the courage to confront her extremely inconsiderate and cruel actions. With respect. I've never actually broken up with pals in this way before, but a lot of you have taught me that it is occasionally appropriate and possible to do so. Though I doubt I will use these, it will keep all of this in mind for later circumstances. Every single one of you is so powerful. You are quite entitled to feel angry. These females had the audacity to plan the vacation behind your back and then post about it on Snapchat as if you wouldn't notice. That is chilly. Additionally, perhaps we ought to hold off till springtime. Yes, that was merely their attempt to conceal information from you. While you call them out, be calm. Like, whoa, did you see the Snapchat? Believed that everyone was organizing the vacation together. Being left out is kind of bad. Not that you have to cause trouble, but you also shouldn't just stand by and allow them to treat you like a footnote. If they truly are buddies, they will acknowledge it. If not, you've just discovered your position. In any case, never content to be a backup. Revision all right, it's time for a report. I am very appreciative of all of the comments and private messages that I have received from my readers. I sincerely appreciate your wisdom. I must say that thinking this out has been incredibly helpful. While working my night shift, I sobbed while writing the article in the restroom. I went to bed with 2 comments, and when I woke up about 12 hours later, there were 100. By now the entire day had nearly passed. I slept all Friday and still hadn't heard from them throughout night shift week. To be honest, I became really angry and lost all faith that I would. I was trying to determine what to do after reading through every remark on this page when I received a text in the group chat saying that she had booked a flight and that I should go on that one. I hesitated to respond until after breakfast, but in the end, I said that I didn't understand. When they had already arranged everything without me, I didn't feel invited to participate. The last I heard, we should schedule it for later, and I'll find out through your Snapchat story then. They informed me right away that was not at all their aim. They expressed their sincere apologies for any hurt I may have felt and their wish that I not feel alone. They hadn't actually spoken much at all, according to a wide girl who phoned me on FaceTime right away. She said Flight Girl had made the choice on the spur of the moment, minutes before the Snapchat post was made. She expressed understanding for my feelings, but she always hoped that I would follow in her footsteps. Later, Flight Girl sent me a FaceTime call. We'd been talking about it for a while and she didn't want to wait any longer, so she tried to explain why she felt the need to just book the flight after deciding after much thought if she could afford it. She apologized a number of times for not consulting me first. A wide girl could have to work too, she realized, but that she was still inclined to attend. Admittedly, I didn't get to say everything I intended to say, and I should have heeded the advice to put my thoughts in paper before answering calls. If they were genuinely happy for me to go, then it just doesn't make sense, in my opinion, for them to be hyped up for a girl's vacation and to schedule it all by themselves. just because we've always scheduled gatherings for these things beforehand. I felt that this wasn't how they usually did things: planning, marketing, booking, Pinterest boards, and much more. Looking back, I don't believe I was able to articulate this as much as I would have liked. But I think they got the idea, though I suppose it was what I hoped for. I still feel a bit strange about them messaging me first. Honestly, I'm not sure if I'll go. But I don't think so. I told them I needed to see whether I would also be able to take some time off work. As usual, trying to avoid difficulty. I'm not sure where I would have stood if I hadn't received that text first. But a lot of you thought that I needed to cease talking to them. They didn't really make up for it. In my opinion, the quality was still really low. But I think they realize that now. My weight has decreased. If I hadn't spoken to them today, I don't think I would have recovered from it so rapidly. These are close friends that I know and love very well, and they know and love me back. They are aware of my current status, nevertheless. We're not going to take it lightly if it happens again. I'm not sure whether I'm just naive right now. I sincerely hope I'm not, since it's not like they've been keeping me in the dark on purpose. Additionally, I hope they understand how horrified I was to see that Snapchat post. I understand your situation and admire you for standing your ground and ending your friendship with toxic acquaintances. I'm very sorry to learn in the comments about your negative encounters with unreliable pals. I'm trying to reflect on the past in order to manage this connection moving ahead and keep a watch on any patterns with these buddies. Please let me know if you have any questions, comments, or anything else at all. Be calm. I never imagined this post would get so long. I'm sorry for my bad English, everyone. My last piece of writing in English escapes me. Keypad in Norwegian. True. Okay, so after I posted this, I saw how really enraged I was. What the heck? I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, yet it disturbs me. Why do I swing around so much? It appears to be a pitiful invitation, suggesting that my presence was never meant. And it is just awful, some remarks. It took them a whole day to answer, so I assume they realized you saw the snap and had to choose what narrative to go with. Furthermore, they don't sound really sorry or offer an explanation for why you won't pardon them. Inform them that the excursions seem contaminated and that you don't feel comfortable accepting what seems like a pitiful invitation. Yes, exactly. Still, they were definitely aware that I would see it. Reading this from you makes me understand that it truly does feel like a pity invitation. Is it possible for you to arrange this vacation with friends who are not related to you? That's my course of action. They did not include you, and their weak justifications were made. Without a doubt, I would go with a new group of friends and share photos of my incredible time. Cuddy, I know, but at least they know you can travel and have fun without them. I would really want to accept an invitation to visit my friend's summer home once more. I was genuinely rather disappointed that this other vacation prevented me from joining them. I'll have to make a decision, but I'm becoming eager to inform them that I will in the end another 5-person buddy group, all of them having partners, and me being the only single one. Yeah, you're right, I think I still don't feel at home. Even if it wasn't their intention. I'm sad that they didn't think about me. They didn't appear to be all that happy to have me around at first, at least not until I said it. Thank you for sticking around until the very end. We would be very grateful if you could subscribe, like, and share our videos. I'm hoping you have a fantastic day.